can see we're up to 6 million and well, nearly 7 million, so we're doing pretty well. I'm going to run a few more beginner missions from the tutorial agents on the right there. I'm probably going to run one mining mission as well. Let's just see what the daily challenge goals are. So earn 50 loyalty points for a corporation, manufacture an item, complete 3 jumps. Well, we'll probably complete 3 jumps. I'm going to try and find a mining station with a level 1 agent so we can get a mission from them. But so we've done the I'll do Nat 10 missions, so we're going to try the next lot of industrialist missions. There's some that are kind of similar, but there's a lot that are slightly different to the first lot that we've done. I'm hoping to get up to about 15 million today, so let's just double check do you remember yesterday we tried to build some guns? So let's have a look on the industry tab. Industry, let's just bring that over onto the sidebar. And we should, when it's woken up, I think the internet's on a bit of a go slow today. There we go. Let's deliver that one. Brilliant. So let's find our guns that we've just made, and let's look at the market value. So remember that there's going to be a lot of players that start off in this station, and these guns go for just about 1,000 ISK each. So we can sell those. Here we go. So we're going to sell 5 at, oh gosh, no, we're not going to sell them that cheap. So it defaults to an immediate sale, and it goes to the highest price in this, in the station, in the buyers tab here, so we're not going to do that. Let's go for 9,000, and let's make it active for a week. Go. Brilliant. So you can see on here that we are the cheapest seller in the station. Somewhere along the way we're going to have to get some proper blueprints as well. So let's talk to our industrialist. Shurka Ashek. So this agent wants 1,000 units of Velspar, and we're already in our mining ship, so we'll go for that. Let me just check that the fitting of the ship is okay. And we've got the salvager, we've got 1 miner. I think let's risk taking off the civilian weapon there. We don't need that one. We could do with a mining surveyor. Let's have a look and see if we can find one. There is a module that you can add to your ship that gets you some bonuses. Nope, it's not going to be my lucky day today. We'll have to hunt that one down at some point. So we've accepted the mission. And let us undock. We've got to go to a site in Dipari. Here we go. And so again, we're in the starter system, so we should be relatively safe. But we've got our drones in case we need to kill a couple of rats. Hopefully we'll get some rats because that's some extra money for us. Oh, there we go. So we've got a skill in the daily login. Gifts. There we are. Let's look at the mining tab. Oh, we've got 1 Velspar rock there. let's start mining. Oh, I've got to be within 10k. So let's orbit at 5k. And let's launch our drones just in case any rats warp to us. So we're going to orbit at 5 kilometers. And Aura's giving us a little bit of extra advice there, saying that mining is a good way to make money, which it kind of is when you're starting, but there are more profitable ways that we will get into. And if we look at our mining hold, you should see that that starts to fill up. And oh, we've got a gift to redeem. Let's redeem that. Oh, we won't redeem it in mid-air, because in mid-space, because that'll just go to our random starting home station. We'll wait till we're docked up and then we'll redeem it. Wow, that's bright. Let's move the background so that it's a little duller. Right, while we're having a little mine, let's try and find a mining agent. We don't want enforcers, do we? We want mining. Okay, let's have a look, see. Oh, that's just giving us a bit of instructions. Okay, I'm clicking the wrong tabs. Right then, that's what we want. Mining agents, and because we're starting, we want level 1s, and we want them within a couple of jumps. Oh, no result. Let's try 5 jumps. I thought we had one that was 3 jumps away. Oh, there we go. And so, oh, they're all kind of in similar positions. Let us save that one. We won't be using this in 4 hours. There we go. So you can see we've already mined enough feldspar for the first mission. So the tab here has all gone green. I'm going to give it a minute longer just to mine a bit extra. I'm just going to have a little look. See, if you go to the local market, you can get a list of all of the items that are on sale. I'm going to look up ship equipment, and I'm going to look up harvest equipment. And mining upgrades, we could look at getting some mining upgrades to help improve our yield. And the mining laser upgrade, yeah, we don't want that one. Scanning equipment, there we go. Brilliant. Mining survey. So let us, the mining survey chipset is a module that we can add to our ship, which helps increase our likelihood of getting a critical hit, which means we get an extra lump of rock. I'm going to have a look in the information tab just here, and I'm going to go to the industry tab. I'm going to see how much it is to buy one of these mining blueprints. Oh, 20,000. Oh, that's pretty decent. And there's one in Arbaz. Let's buy that one. Okay. Fantastic. Now, because of the changes in mining in Eve recently, if you've got an industrial ship with one of these chipsets installed, you get a nice critical chance of getting some extra rock. So there is a reasonable market in selling these as well. So I might make a couple to use and then make a couple to sell. It uses a very small amount of titanium, which is one of the easiest alloys to get hold of. So that's quite a good thing for us to start with. We'll also look at making, you can research the blueprints and make them require less materials, so you can make more profit as well, but we're going to get into all of that at some point too. In fact, I think some of the industrialist missions give you a little hint of that. So let's stop that for there. We've got a nice little wedge of rock in our hold. Let's warp back to our station. Ooh, stop and recall my drones. Yep, that's fairly typical of me. Get chatting and forget what I'm doing. In a second, you should see in here, in a short while, our blueprint will show up in here as well. And hopefully in one of the systems that when we're running the missions, we'll have to hop around a few systems. Hopefully we'll fly through the system where our blueprint is, and we can pick it up and start having some fun with that. There we are. Oh, we've won some bonus rewards as well. Oh, tiny little bit of ISK, excellent. Okay, so let's click on our agent. We can click on complete mission. We've got a nice little wedge. Let's request the next one. So now the agent wants 100 tritanium, and I think we've got more than that there, so we can accept and then straight away complete. She's given us an extra venture, so we've got the venture that we're in, and we've got one packaged up and ready to go. We've also got a sigil hauling ship, so we're getting a decent haul of different ships to fly around with. So let's go on to the third mission. So we are going to be given a civilian afterburner blueprint because the agent wants us to make them a civilian afterburner. Let me just double check that I haven't got one of those already in the vault. Civilian afterburner, very good. So if I accept this, it should, there we go, let me complete the mission straight away. Oh, it's going to make me do it, isn't it? It's going to make me build them. There we go. So a civilian afterburner needs 64 tritanium, and they just want one of them, so I'm going to start that one off. The job in total takes just under 5 minutes, so it should be through fairly quick. But because I've got a civilian afterburner already, it's letting me complete the mission. Is it telling me to go to a different station? Drop off the station there. Okay, so it's going to make me, for example, you must deliver one. Oh, it's not repackaged, right? Because it's been fitted on a ship, it's unboxed, whereas now I've just repackaged it, and now it will finish the mission. Fantastic. There we are. So our liquid ISK, we're on about 3,300,000 thereabouts, but our character's total value is a bit more than that. We are about 7.5 million. So the total net worth also includes whatever ships and whatever items we've got as well. So, and this is this is where we're aiming to get to a value of 1 billion. So now we are being asked for 7,000 tritanium, which I think. Oh, we've got to mine the rocks anyway, so we're going to have to go out and mine. There we go. So let's close that there. Oh, this is one of those missions where it wants us to fit any weapon. Okay, so we're going to do our trick with the civilian laser, and we're going to put it offline. There we go. Right. It's obviously asking us to mine a rock and then supply some tritanium to the agent. We've got enough tritanium in our in the station, and we've also got enough feldspar in our hold as well, but it wants you to go to the site and do some mining. There we go. Let's zoom in and look at our ship. I think this is one of the best bits of the game, is to just sit and watch your ship flying around. Usually I would say with a glass of wine in your hand, but I've got work in the morning, so I might have a tea. Oh, we've got some extra bonuses there as well. Right, so we've got 2 rats and 3 rocks. So let's launch our drones and target the 2. Oh, we're a bit of a distance away. Let's go a bit closer. Let's close in on one of the rocks there. So I'm going to lock target as well. There we are. And I'm going to start mining that. Brilliant. And when the rats start to get a little bit closer, the drone should take care of them. So I'm going to orbit the rock at 2.5 kilometers. The mission objectives here are telling me that I need to kill 2 rats. So I'm going to left click on the target and I'm going to hit F for the drones to start attacking. And they should take care of them fairly quickly. So we've got a couple of wrecks to salvage, but we've got no... You can see that the symbol for the wrecks is just a sort of 3-pointed triangle thing with no grey in the middle, which means that they haven't dropped anything. But we're going to target them and we're going to salvage them anyway. Hopefully we can keep mining while we get in range. There we go. So you can see here that I'm mining and salvaging simultaneously. We kind of touched upon trying to do 2 things at once in the game. So technically at the moment we're doing 3 things. Actually no, we're doing 4 things. We're mining, we're salvaging, we're running a mission for one of the agents, and we're building the civilian afterburners, which are nearly useless, or the civilian afterburner single. You can see on here that we have mined enough feldspar and it's telling us to head back to our station, so that's all good. This time I'll remember to bring my drones in. There we go, lovely. And dock, I think it's giving us a little bonus there because we've killed a couple of rats. So I'll salvage 10 wrecks, there we are. So we'll claim those items. Oh, so we've got a small salvage tackle rig. Excellent. That's another item that we fit on the ship that gives us a little bonus in how much we salvage. I might try and get one of those blueprints if they're not ridiculously expensive as well. So view market details. Okay, 125. And the nearest one is 3 jumps away. That's brilliant, we'll get that one. So again, even though I'm spending ISK, the character's worth kind of stays the same, because I've obviously bought a blueprint which is worth something. I could research that blueprint and sell it for a profit too. Excuse me. It's the time of year when everybody in the UK has a cough. There we are, fantastic. So let's do the next mission. We're already 5 missions in, that's quite nifty. Okay, so we are going to jump 6 jumps and drop off a crate of electronic parts, and it's going to give us an afterburner, an expanded cargo hold, and a little wedge of cash. So we're definitely going to take that one. There we go. Brilliant. So in here there should be electronic parts. Let's drop that in there. I'll show you what we're going to do with the salvage tackle. Do you remember we were talking about how when you salvage wrecks, you sometimes get these salvage loot items drop? We can use them to make rigs, and what we can do with rigs is we can improve how our ship can do different things. Because we're using this one to salvage, I'm going to drop in one of these empty rig slots here, the salvager, the salvage tackle. There we go. And once your rig is fitted to your ship, the only way to get rid of it is to destroy it. So bear that in mind when you're putting the bigger, more expensive rigs in. So let's have a look. Were we lucky? Ooh. Yes. So on the route to this, the delivery destination, Ekid, we actually fly through the system where our mining survey chipset blueprint is. So we can pick that up on the way. That's really positive. What was the other thing? Oh yes, we've got, let's deliver, what have we got here? Let's claim all the rewards. And I think we've got an item. Let's redeem that to the current station. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got in the ship's hold, we've got the crates of electronics. We can take the lump of feldspar out. We're going to use that at some point. We've set the destination, so we are ready to go and deliver this item. We're going to make a little stop on the way at Arbaz and pick up our mining survey blueprint as well. There we go. So I think it's the first, I think it's one jump away, our blueprint. So we're going to hop to the next system. I'm just using the mouse and holding the left button to just move the view of the ship around a little bit. There we go. So the daily tasks, we should complete 3 jumps because we are we're moving a total of 6 systems there. Oh, we've manufactured an item, so we are going to get our daily login bonus. That's really good. So let's have a look, see. So you can see that our mining survey chipset is 0 jumps away. So what we can do is just dock in this station on the way and pick it up. There we are. There we go. Lovely. A lot of people say that the mining missions or the industrialist missions aren't a lot of use, but I think it's worth a new player doing it because you get a nice little wedge of cash, you get a couple of ships and some skills, but also it gives you a feel of what you need to do in terms of clicking on an item and jumping from system to system. So you can see now we've got our blueprint happily parked in our venture. There we go. And we are then able to carry on our journey. We're going to jump to Chaven, which is I think where we've got, yeah, we've got an impair ore there as well. I'm going to just repackage that one. There we go, because we don't need that one. Brilliant. And there we are. 7 people in local, so relatively quiet. Some of the next agents missions we're going to run involve a little bit more shooting and blowing stuff up, or it would involve shooting. Obviously we're not going to shoot any guns, and you also then run more of a risk of your ship being damaged because we've got a bit of an idea of how to fit our ships. We can put some modules on there to make them a little bit tougher. We shouldn't lose any, although I think there's one mission where you're designed to lose your ship, whatever. So there we are, nice little pop-up telling us that we've completed our daily goal. which will give us some bonus skill points. There we are, and just about 1 million ISK. Excellent. Let's jump to the next station. I could click on the button at the top here. We could, when you start as a new player, you automatically start in one of the beginner corporations. There are some advantages to being in one of those, in that you can't have a war declared against your corporation if you're in one of the beginner corporations. It does take a pretty big chunk of tax out of your earnings, which if you click on your wallet, you can see it's taken, what's that, 10% of your earnings. You could either join a corporation, or you could make your own and try and recruit other players, which is kind of fun. At some point, we might hop out of the starter corporation and hop into a player corporation, partially to save tax, because hey, making 10% more is quite good. And yeah, it's supposed to be a it's not supposed to be a solo game. You're supposed to play it with people. I can kind of take or leave playing with people, but some people like to move into low sec and null sec and join some of the proper big corporations, which is a very different type of gameplay, but you can get into that down the line. I'm also hoping to get better at the graphics and the editing, so as we go along you should see improvements in the videos, and hopefully not cough as much as well, and hopefully fewer ums and ahs as we go. Yeah, I do love the warping graphics. I think you've got to be some kind of nerd to play Eve, whatever. I also think it's really good training to get kind of make you a bit more business orientated. There's been in Iceland, where CCP, the company that made Eve, they actually employed a economist to study the in-game economy. So I think there's been a few PhDs earned along the way based on what goes on in here, which adds to an extra depth. Also, I've got to do the typical YouTuber thing and say, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little alarm so you get a notification when my hopefully improving in quality videos get released. There we are. Let's complete the mission. Brilliant. Close, and we're going to head back. Oh, there we are. Nice little wedge. So we're going to head back to Dipari. And here we go. Undock. Let's have a, if I click the industry tab, we'll see how our civilian afterburner's doing. So I think we finished that one. I don't know how much they sell for, but I can't imagine it's very much. So if we look, show info, outcome is a civilian afterburner. Let's look at the market details. Oh, okay. Wow. So they sell for maybe 10,000 ISK. Somebody is selling one for 241 million ISK, which is very optimistic. I imagine that there's somebody in Amar, which is one of the games, I think it's the second biggest trade hub. I think somebody's probably doing a bit of a con there, or they're trying to distort the market a bit. Wow, they're selling them for some decent money, aren't they? Because it's an item that you use in one of the tutorial missions, people are tempted just to buy it and sell it, so that they tend to buy it without looking too hard at what the items actually selling for. So can you see in the same station you could buy the same item for 10,000 ISK or almost 1,000,000 ISK. So yeah, it always pays to have a little bit of a research before you buy anything. And sometimes you have to make a decision, you know, is it worth flying 2 jumps away to get an item for half price? You know, that's, to me, is a no-brainer. There we go. It won't let us deliver because our skills make it so that we can only deliver when we're in the same system, but that's fine. Also, when we get into the game a little bit more, we're going to start looking for civilian stations because they tend to have bonuses towards production and refining and things, which again makes more money. Oh, there we go. I've got my headphones tangled. Okay, so we're nearly home. Couple of jumps to go. Oh, we might have got a bonus for making jumps. Yep, make 25 Stargate jumps. We shall have that. We'll talk at some point as well about the different symbols next to the other players that you see in local. They have a little symbol next to them here. Most people are neutral to us because we're in a player corporation and we haven't had time to upset anyone yet. Eventually we will see a few people that have got criminal tags or suspect tags and things like that, which are slightly different. And usually if you see somebody approach you flashing red, it usually means you're going to get killed. But in EVE, death isn't permanent. Even if they destroy your ship and your character, you wake up back in your home station, which is a really good point. I will change my home station when we dock up as well. I hope you're all getting a bit of an idea about the level of complexity in the game. I've never seen a game with the amount of depth and nuance, and I've been playing computer games for over 50 years. I am considerably elderly, as you've probably figured out. There we are. I'm going to minimize that for a minute so we can appreciate the view. And the Amar Customs General ship that we just saw there is sort of a bit like the local police, although the local police, strictly speaking, are Concord, which we may see some of their ships at some point if one of our Capsuleer colleagues has been a bit naughty. You notice that those Amar custom ships were blue. That means that we have good standing with them. There we are. Nearly home. I tend to do, with my main character, I tend to do a few of the mining missions for loyalty points and skills. But oh gosh, there we go. So we need to deliver 20 cap boosters, and we're going to need to make them. You'll need the minerals tritanium, pyrite and mexalon, which we need to reprocess ore from scordite and plagioclase. Okay, we can do some of that, that's no problem. Here we are, so we'll accept that mission. What we will do is we're going to research this a couple of points. So here's our blueprint loaded. Oh, we can't do it at this station, dang it. Okay, that's fine, we're going to have to find another station to use that. No problem. So let's close that mission down there. We should have, there we are, there's our cap booster 25s. So we've got enough titanium. We need to mine some, we need to get some pyrite and some mexalon. So we're going to need to mine scordite and plagioclase rocks. So let's just make sure we've got 2 miners on. Let's take that one off there. Let's put a miner on there. Oh, we can deliver that one job that we've got going, can't we, as well? There we are, deliver that one. Let's see if, let's be positive and see if we can sell this civilian afterburner. So view market details. Okay, somebody in the station selling it for 9995. Well, that's interesting. Somebody's buying one for 3,000. 3 jumps away, so we're not going to bother with that. So what we will do is undercut this person by a little bit. So sell this item at 999. So after taxes and what have you, we should make almost 9,000, but we might as well do that just to clear a bit of space. So we've got our 2 miners, we've got a salvager. Let's put our afterburner on as well. There we go. We kind of don't need that. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll tell you what we need to do. Let's see if we can make a couple of these. Oh, we haven't quite got enough titanium yet, so let's refine a bit of feldspar. Oh, we've gone up to 51.5 because we've trained some reprocessing skills up. So there we go. So let us make a couple of those. Okay, yeah, they sell for a decent amount. So we're going to use about 18,000 ISK worth of minerals. The total job is going to cost us 852, but we should be able to sell those for about 4 times as much. So that is quite positive. Oh, cannot use this blueprint from its current location. Got to have it in your station hangar. Let's try that again. So 4, perfect, and let us start. So again, while we're running missions and making ISK, we're also making products as we go. So let us go and mine some rocks. Okay. So in this system, because it's a 0.9 system, we can be a little restricted as to which rocks are available to mine. So let's warp over and have a look-see. I've got a sneaking suspicion that there might not be plagioclase in this one. I think there's definitely scordite. We might have to go to a system with a slightly lower security rating to get the slightly better rocks. As with so many things in EVE, it's risk versus reward analysis that you have to make. Because my character is spectacularly new and shiny and weak. Let's see, so if I arrange the rocks in alphabetical, so there's definitely scordite, there's definitely feldspar, but there's no plagioclase. Okay, so if we look on the local map, and let's see if we can find a system that's a slightly lower security status. Okay, so that system a couple of jumps away is 0.7. The one after that is 0.6. I think we just go 2 jumps to the 0.6 system and try and see if we can get some slightly better rocks. And also going for a system with slightly lower security status. You do get attacked by slightly heavier duty rats as well, and you earn more money for killing them, and you get better salvage off of them as well. So yeah, the risk versus reward for this is, yeah, it's worth taking a little bit of extra risk. Cootie, there we go. And did it say it was going to take 2 hours to make? Yeah, 2 hours. Okay, so I think we're going to need to... There's a skill that we can add that gives us, makes us able to mine, to manufacture more jobs at once. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that as an alpha character, you can only make 2 items at a time. So let's have a little look-see. Okay, let's minimise that for a second. Okay, so we're in Kudi, which is the 0.7 system. Let's click on the mining tab. Oh, we've got a couple. Oh, we've only got a couple of belts. Okay, let's warp to one of those. Oh, we're the only person in the system. That's quite positive. So hopefully we'll find some big, fat, juicy rocks. So again, let's look on the skills. Production, industry. So 4% reduction in manufacturing. Oh, there you go. Mass production allows the operation of multiple factories. Allows you to run 1 additional job per level. Oh, this is telling us that. Oh gosh, that's a tiny bit of a wedge. That's fine. Let's put a couple of levels of that in there. Oh, I can hear that we're being attacked by rats. Let's launch our drones. Oh, fantastic. The gatherer ship, if we can get that one, they normally drop a nice big wedge of minerals. Oh, we're in Amar space. That's why there's no plagio. Okay, that's fine. Let's go for some pyroxers. Pyroxeers. I can never quite figure out how to pronounce this one. So if I have 1 laser mining pyroxeers and 1 mining scordite, we should get enough. If I look at the information on those ships there, we should get a little bit of Mexalon. There we go, that's fine. Oh, here we go. I hope this ship attacks us. I'm going to let it get nice and close in, and I'm going to put my shield booster on as well. Okay, so we've got 1 rock there, and let's get 1 scordite as well. Excellent. So I'm going to have 1 laser on that one and 1 laser on that one. And let's have a little look-see at our ships. Oh yes, we can target them as well. Brilliant. So we've almost killed 1 rat, and hopefully we're going to kill the other one as well. There's the wreck. Oh, that one's got a nice drop in it as well. That's good. Is the hauler coming towards us? Yes, it is. Is it going to come all the way in? If we can kill this one, if it gets to 17 kilometers away from us, we can target it and get a nice lump of mineral drop out of it. Oh, do you know what? I'm just mining the basic pyroxeers as well. Let's try seeing if there's a better one. Oh yeah, there's a level 3 one there. So we'll unlock that target and we'll hit that one instead. Fantastic. 56. Is it going to keep coming in? It looks like it's approaching us. Excitement. While we're doing that, let's add the Rex to our targets overview. So right click, add Rec to overview. Oh, look at that, I can reach both of those and still keep mining the rocks as well. I can definitely hit the salvager on it. Oh, it's going away. Oh, good. A laser that we can't use. So can you see that as I approach these wrecks, I'm still within range of the mining lasers? Oh, do I go and shoot that? I think it's going to warp out. Excellent. Some stuff that we can use. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to try and kill it. I'm going to turn off all of our... Let's give it full power. Oh, it's 80 kilometers. It's going to warp out. Yeah, it's moving away from us. Dang it. I think it normally drops either tritanium or scordite, a big lump of it. Oh, come on, we can do it. It's like watching oil tankers. Right, I don't think he's going to warp away from us rather. You can see that the drones are happily flying around by the ship. That's really good. Should we have a close look at the ship? It should look like one of our haulers. Nice. You can see our drones are moving in to hopefully make it go pop. Yes. So let us orbit it at 2.5 kilometers. Although I don't think these hauler ships have weapons. There we are. Yeah, they rely on its escort rats to protect it, which is a little foolish. Very good. How much ore did we actually make? Well, we've got a reasonable lump of ore there. That's quite good. Yes. So, do we think the loot fairies have been kind to us? So I need to be within 5 kilometers to use the salvager, but I'm also going to open it up and see what loot has dropped. Nice lump of pyrite, fantastic. Oh. Okay. So there's more pyrite than I can actually fit into my cargo hold. Oh, that's interesting. So we will save the location of that just in case we come past this way again. Let's save it for 4 hours. That is worth having. That's really good. And you can see we've already got some decent salvage as well, which is really positive. We can start to think about using that to make some rigs. Oh, now, this is called a local spike. This is a small spike. So if you're at, oh, here we go. Can you see that all of a sudden there's a lot of people turning up in local? I think we're going to be safe, but it's possible that this could be a group of people looking for poor helpless miners to blow up. Ah, there we go. Right then. Perfect. So I think we're going to recall our drones and we're going to head back home to Dipari. There we go. And we're going to use our newly mined rocks. So we've got a decent amount of ore to reprocess there, and we've also got this little bonus of a nice little wedge of pyrite, which we're definitely going to be using. Oh, the local spike is going now. It looks like all of the group of people have decided to warp off. There's somebody there. What's that? Oh, that's Mammoth. That's a big hauler ship. In this game, there are people who make their living by blowing people up and stealing all their stuff. If I was one of those people, I would be looking at the big hauler ships and thinking, there's probably going to be something worth my while in there. I think most gankers wouldn't really bother with something as little as us. Is our 2-day-old miner in their mining ship. Oh, now that's an interesting prospect as well. We've now got enough ISK to buy the Pioneer ship, which is a slightly bigger and slightly more productive ship than the one we've got at the moment. So we might have a little look at that. Let's have a look and see how much the Pioneer is going for today. When these are relatively new ships, and when they first came out, they were selling for 160 million. So they've dropped considerably. Okay. So we could buy one for 4.5 million, but that would be all of our liquid ISK. So we could sell a couple of our ships, but I think we'll hold off yet. We'll wait till we've got a little bit more ISK. Just for reference, let's see how much the blueprint is for that as well. Pioneer blueprint, market details, 46 million. I think we are possibly going to look at getting into that at some point as well. Let's put some skill points into these skills here so we can get the mass production going. See, we're already training the skills up for the mining destroyer, so I kind of think it would be rude not to have it. Perhaps when we get to about 10 million, we'll buy one. Okay, so let's have a little look here. Now, you can see that we're getting more and more items in our item hanger. One or two of the items we could potentially use ourselves. The civilian items aren't really useful for anything, so you can't get anything back for those. We've got a few of those, we've got a few of those. Okay, so if I select everything except the civilian miners and the civilian, oh no, we need to keep a civilian Gatling gun just in case we need one for a mission. So I'm just going to trash those two. We'll keep those, we'll keep the miner, we'll keep the laser, we'll keep that, and we'll those two. We're probably going to use that at some point, but not today. So let's just select all of our rocks and a few of the waste items. Oh, I forgot to get the rocks out of the hold. There we go. So if I select the rocks, the metal scraps, and the Gatling laser, I think that's it. Oh, we'll get rid of the Type E enduring scanner as well. If I right click all of those items there and click reprocess, you can see I've got a nice little mix of different minerals there. So because we've got relatively low skills and we've not got particularly good bonuses here, so we can turn 94,000 ISKs worth of stuff into about 60,000 ISKs worth of minerals. But that should be enough to get us able to do our cap booster mission. So let's have a little look-see. So we're going to go, there we are. So one of these uses a certain amount of minerals. Let's have a look. So we're going to spend 2,200 worth of minerals and make 1,600's worth of odds and ends. Yeah, we're not going to make any money on that, so we'll just make the one. So that's going to take 1 minute 36. Excuse me. It's going to take 4 minutes. That's going to take 1 hour 36. So we've got 4 hours. We might come back to this in a second. So I'll see you in a few minutes. So we're back after a couple of minutes. I made 2 mistakes. The industrial job that we were waiting for, I only clicked 1 and I should have clicked 2. So I've been waiting this whole time for the second Cap Booster 25 to finish manufacturing. Also, I discovered that the mass production skill that I bought and remotely injected, I actually had a copy of it in my item hanger. So I've listed that for sale on the local market as well. And let's have a look. See. Mass production. There's one person in the station selling it for 100,000, so I thought I'd list it for 150,000. So if it sells, that's a nice little bit of cash. Earlier on I said about how the net worth figure here is slightly different to the net worth figure, the total in my wallet. If you look at the ship hanger, you can see that there's an estimated value of just about 4 million for my 4 ships as well. So it's all the stuff I own plus my liquid balance equals my net worth, and that's what I'm aiming to make to 1 billion. So we've got a green tab here saying I've got all the cap boosters that I need for the mission, so I can complete that mission there. Nice little wedge. Request, I've got to stop saying nice little wedge as well. Transport these goods. So transport 20 times cap booster 25s, 1 station away to our base. So as a reward, we get a damage control, DCU, damage control unit, and some money. So we're going to accept that mission there. We're going to load up with those. That's fine, they're in the ship. And we're going to set the Arbaz station there as our target, which is 1 jump away. Perfect, so let's quickly do that. I'm drinking honey and lemon while we go to try and stop me from coughing, so apologies for the slurping noises. Okay, so let's hit jump. We're going to talk a little bit about controls for a second. You've already seen that you see that the next gate is highlighted yellow on the overview here. If you right click on it, you can have the option to jump. if you've clicked on there, you can also see that you've got an option here to jump, or you can click on the gate itself, right click on it, and then you can jump as well. There's usually a few different ways of doing the same thing, so I'm going to try and make a point of saying which keyboard shortcuts I'm pressing at any given time. At some point we've got to get this other item, the salvage tackle blueprint. We haven't got enough salvage items yet, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Oh, another reward. Complete producer missions. Very good. Oh, that's a 0.6 system. So if we need to mine some minerals, what I might do is I might head to that system and collect the blueprint as we're there. Brilliant. There we go. Complete mission. Excellent, so everything's dropped off. So let us head back to them. So right click on the mission, right click on the agent and choose set destination, undock. So yeah, I've added a couple of extra skills as well. I've added the 3rd level of mass production. So in theory, I can make 3 jobs at once when that skill's changed. At the moment, I'm limited to, oh no, there you go, manufacturing jobs, 1 out of 3. So I can make 3 manufacturing jobs. I can also use 1 blueprint. I can also research 1 blueprint. Reactions is another different type of manufacturing, slightly more specialist components, but I don't think we're going to get into that at this stage. There we go, beautiful. If I was really clever, I would cut mid-warp, wouldn't I, and edit so it looked like we were just warping from place to place. Again, as I get good at editing, I'm going to try and be a bit more fancy, like some of our amazing EVE online YouTubers. Some of the skills they show are absolutely next level. And you'll notice that I've not put my face on because nobody needs to see that, thank goodness. There we go. 41 people in local. Lots of other newbies. I said in the first video that the race and the great race, the 4 main races and then the sub races didn't affect your game. That's not absolutely true. I worked out as well that you do get a few points. For example, I chose Amarian as my race and I started with 3 points in Amarian frigates skills, so there is a small bias there, but there's no decision that can't be unmade, if that makes sense. So if you start in Amar and think, oh, I wish I'd started in Minmatar, you can immediately swap over to those ships. Right, there we go. So complete mission. Oh no, we haven't done that one. Right, so we've been given a blueprint for a shuttle. I think this should mostly just be titanium, which we've got plenty of. That's fine. So the job is going to take 4 minutes and it's going to cost us almost nothing. So we can start that one there. What I might do while we're doing that, I might nip across to where our blueprint is and collect that one. Baromab. Baromab? I do wonder where they get these names sometimes. Okay, let's jump out. So again, going back to that thing that we discussed before about you don't want to be sat in station waiting for stuff to finish. So while that job is being made, we can go on and do other things. I might take the opportunity to just see if I can get some extra minerals as well. So we'll pick up the blueprint for the small salvage tackle, and we will maybe just do a couple of minutes worth of mining while we're there. Do you remember we were talking about joining a player-owned corporation? And sometimes people will put an advert in the local chat. That's interesting. So that's a wormhole corporation. Fleet warfare, PvE, industrial. We can talk at some point about how to pick a good corporation. It's quite hard because until you get in and start talking to people, it's hard to know. Most good corporations don't put adverts in starter systems. I could be making a massive sweeping generalization there, in which case I apologize. And I potentially apologize to Kirky here in the, yeah. Let's see what their corporation does. Okay, so there we are. Okay, that could be quite a good one. Yeah, so that might be quite a useful corp to join. Corporations in EVE are the same as guilds in World of Warcraft or other similar games like that. So we're just going to dock up in the station. Oh, we've got a couple of belts in here. That's good. I bet by the time we collect our blueprint, our shuttle will be nearly ready. Yeah. Wow, look at that station. That is great. Cartham Conglomerate Factory, okay. Not absolutely sure what that company does. A lot of the non-player corporations do, some of them sell items, some of them sell blueprints, some of them offer mission agents. You'll find your own way to play eventually. Let's just warp to one of these belts. Are we going to be lucky and warp straight onto a rat, do we think? A big juicy rat. I might add a bit of reprocessing skills as well. Oh, we can't train that one. Okay. Is there any rats? Nothing in this one. Let's try the next one. If there's nothing in the next one, we'll just go back and complete our mission. That corporation that we were talking about, I didn't look and see what their tax rate was. Okay, doesn't say. Okay, 5% tax rate. That's pretty good. So it'd be paying half the tax that we're currently paying if we joined them. I think we're going to just jump back and finish our jobs. when we look at blueprints, so this blueprint is brand new. Its mineral and time efficiency are both at 0. When we talk about researching, what we can do is we can reduce the amount of minerals that need to be input. Doesn't make a huge amount of difference for this type of thing because it only uses a relatively small number of minerals and input items. But if we were building a spaceship, for example, if we were building a ship hull, saving 10% on the cost of the minerals could double your profits. So yeah, for little items like this, it doesn't make a lot of difference, but for bigger items, it's really worth researching your blueprints. But we're going to do a bit of that as well. I've checked, if we view this blueprint in, let's have a little look, see, so show info and view in industry. So it needs a total of 11 items. I think we've got 1 of those and 2 of those. So we're going to need to salvage some more rats before we're able to make one of these. These are the items that drop when we salvage hulls, salvage wrecks rather. So yeah, these, if you look for if you were to buy the items, you're looking at 330,000 ISK, and they sell for 312,000 approximately. If you can just pick these items up for free by salvaging wrecks, that's a good profit. I always say that rigs are probably the closest you get to free money in EVE. So just by salvaging wrecks, that if you're mining in a belt, you're going to have the occasional rat land on you. You might as well salvage the wrecks and just get free money. I'm a big fan of free money. And it goes back to what we were saying before about trying to be, you don't just do one thing at a time, you have passive activities happening in the background while you're working as well. So, for example, making items, researching blueprints, running missions while you're doing other things. That's how to become hopefully a billionaire. Right then, so we haven't delivered our Amar shuttle, so we'll deliver that one. There we go, and the mission, the little tab has gone green. So let us complete mission. Excellent. Big bum. So let's request another one. So we're on 8 out of 10. We've done 8 missions already. So we have to acquire these goods. A production assistant. So fly to the objective location, mine some ore, and destroy the pirates that show up. I think this might be one that makes us fit a gun. Yep. Okay, so let's close that screen. Let's open the ship fitting screen and pop that in the item hanger. Let's put the, there we are. Oh, we might as well research that one a couple of points. Oh, there we are. So I've got 1 of those and I've got 2 of those. Yeah, so even if we researched it, input material efficiency up to 10%, it still wouldn't save us any items. No, so there's no point in researching that one. That's fine, we'll keep that for when we need it. So let us put our civilian gun in. And then, as per the rules, put it offline. There we go. We don't need anything else in there. Actually, I'm going to put a DCU in, just in case we get a bit of damage this time. There we go. makes us a little bit tougher. Oh, we've got to go to Arbaz, so that's one jump over, isn't it, I think? Brilliant. So let's undock. And if we, let's see what our net worth has gone up to. Oh, we're almost up to 10 million. In fact, by the time we finish this mission, we should be up to 10 million, so that's quite good. So we've gone from, I think it was 15,000 ISK on day one, and we're almost up to a net worth of 10 million. And we have almost 6 million liquid ISK. So we're doing pretty well. There we are. So we're going to need to warp to the site. We've got our drones ready. We've got our salvager and everything. That's looking pretty good. If we start, do you remember we talked about with the ship fitting? We've got a shield hardener specifically for the electromagnetic, which is where we've got a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a hole in our defences. So if we start to take some damage, we might just put that on for a minute. Okay, so oh, it's telling us which rock to hit, so I'm gonna control left click on there to target it. I might have done that in, there we are. I'm being dense, bear with me. Oh, now this mission. Yes, the Kernite. So Kernite is there was changes in mining that happened a few years ago, and all of the Kernite disappeared from HiSec. And one of the minerals that you can get from Kernite is a really useful one, the isogen. And it, for a while, it became quite valuable. Oh, see, now I wish I brought my other mining laser. So let's orbit that one at 2.5, and let's launch our drones, because we know that there's going to be some. So I would almost say it's worth leaving your mining laser in your ship so that you can dock up at one of the stations and just fit it and then just mine all of this Kernite. I'm sort of tempted to do that before we finish the mission. So let's add that one to the targets tab. There we are. Let's get the drones on it. Because that's a fair amount of Kernite ore that we could. I'm going to save the locations. Save it for 4 hours. Brilliant. And let's get that wreck. So the Kernite is actually worth a decent amount of ISK as well. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to get all of this. I might take the production assistant back to the station and then just pause the recording for a bit while I just clean up all of this Kernite ore. Oh yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, it won't be very exciting for you all while I just mine a load of rocks. So I might just take this opportunity. Lovely. Let's go back. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. So we've had some developments. As you can see, I did buy the Pioneer. If you look here, this is the lump of kernite that I just mined in that mission. So it came to a total estimated price of 3.5 million ISK. And it just so happened that while I was in the system mining the rocks, I noticed that the cheapest Pioneer in the area was on sale in the system. So while the recording wasn't running, I had a rush of blood to my head and I went across and bought it. Now, you'll notice that if you compare the Pioneer to the Venture, which we had before, this one can actually fit 3 mining lasers at a time. And rather than having a range of 10 kilometers, it has a range of 14 kilometers, plus a little bit of extra yield. So this machine can mine more ore at any given time. It's also got nearly 6 times as much hit points. So it is an absolute beast. It takes slightly longer to get to warp. So I think the Venture was about 4 point something. This is about 5.95. So while I was idly in space mining, I did spend about 4.5 million ISK on this ship. So our target has taken a temporary hit. So I'm now worth about 5 million, which is I think where I started. But I think this updates every 12 hours or so. So in 12 hours, the value of this ship and the value of the ore that I've just mined will be added onto my total net worth. So that should go up. I think we should be near as anything up to about 15 million, all being well. So what I did, just to recap, I brought the production assistant, which was the objective of the mission. I brought the production assistant back and put him in the item hangar. I then went out with 3 mining lasers and mined the rest of the ore, which came to about, I think by the time it's refined, it will be probably about 2 million's worth. So what we're going to do with this, let's just finish off the mission first of all. Here we go, complete mission. So thankfully our ISK balance is going up a little bit. We're almost done with this mission, agent, so we'll carry on doing those last couple of missions in a second, but we're just going to close for a second. Let's just have a look on the market and see how much we could sell this for. So, okay, so people are selling it in the station for 500 ISK per unit. So 500, yeah, that is about 3 million, isn't it? So I don't think we're going to sell the ore. I'm going to split it into 2. Oh, excuse me. So that is, let's say 3,000. And I'm going to refine half of it. So, oh gosh. Okay, so I'm going to refine half of it and get a big lump of the isogen, which is going to be useful later on. And I'm going to sell the rest of it. So let's have a look. See, so view market details, sell. So I'm going to undercut this person that's selling it for 500. I'm going to sell it for 499. Here we are. So 499. And that should net us a nice little profit there. And we can close that down. You can see that as well as putting the mining laser upgrade, I put the damage control unit in here. That's slightly filled in that little gap there, which is also filled in by the shield hardness. So if I simulate the fit there, you can see that there's no gaps in the shields. I've left the other venture, I've left the salvage tackle rig in place there, so we'll need to get some more rigs in here. We could make a decision and get some more shield, give us a bit more tank. We could get something in here that improves our mining yield. We'll have a little bit of a think and see what works out. Another advantage, or there's two more advantages of the Pioneer ship. I can fit 4 drones in total. So if I move from the other ship and that one there, so now, sorry, I can launch 4 drones at a time. So that doubles our damage. I think the Venture was on about 17 DPS and now we're up to 38 DPS. I've also, while I was idly sat in space mining the rocks, I've bought a couple of extra, I bought some more drones, and I've bought some more blueprints along the way as well. So these are a different type of drone. We'll talk about the different types of drone, and I've also bought the Miner 1 blueprint as well. So on our travels, we'll collect them at some point. Let's just have a look and see how our industry job is doing, because I have got a cunning plan for that. Oh, 3 minutes away. Okay, so we can collect those in a minute. Let's get the next agent mission. Oh, the Tormentor. That it's quite a useful ship, but its looks are against it a little bit. There we are. So it's gonna, the mission's gonna give us a blueprint. We are then going to have to make a Tormentor, and then we'll get another ship and some ISK. So we're going to accept this mission. There we are. Let us have a quick look in the inventory. Let's see how long this Tormentor is going to take. Isogen, there we are. So because we refined that mineral, we've got plenty of isogen now, which is really, really good. Yes, 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 out of the way, out of the way. Okay, so we need a little bit extra mechs and pyrite and titanium, so we're going to have to do a little bit of mining. That's going to be good because we can warp to one of the systems where our blueprints are. So that's a 0.8 and that's a 0.9. So let's go to that one. Set destination. Okay. So it's 4 jumps away. Okay, so the I might pause it there until we get some extra minerals and then we will start mining again. So I shall see you in a couple of minutes. So I've been off and mined a load of rocks so that we can get some minerals to reprocess. I also picked up miner blueprint, drone blueprint and a salvager blueprint. I realized that I was still using the civilian salvager, so this should make life a bit more efficient. I'm just going to choose what we're going to reprocess. There we are. Oh, let's reprocess that as well. Reprocess. Okay, so we've got a nice little wedge of some minerals there. Reprocess. That's really good. And let's see if we've got enough to make our Tormentor. We need some more Mexalon. So we're just going to buy that, I think. So view market details. Oh gosh. So it's being sold for nearly double in the station. Gosh, okay, we'll take that little bit of a hit. So we need our, gosh, that's a bit of a chunk, isn't it? So we need 1,600 roughly. Goodness. Oh, I didn't quite get enough. I need another 70. Okay. So this job is going to take around about an hour. So I think we'll probably call it a day for today. I've got one other job that we need to do, which is oh, there we go. Actually, do you know what? Let's call it a day for today. Thank you very much indeed, everyone. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe and do all the usual things. I'll have some links for some other useful people whose videos to watch. And thank you very much indeed. And fly profitable, everyone. Thank you very much indeed.